just to get started and kind of mention the elephant in the room, Creative isn't going to be here. He is under the weather. Um,
No.
yeah, he had mentioned to us that he was feeling very, very sick. He was going to be unavailable. It's just one of those things where, I would rather him show up at his best than be coughing and wheezing into a mic. So hopefully he hasn't gotten the coof. And hopefully he will be back soon. As far as Vendetta, people keep asking me when Vendetta's going to be here. I just want to clear the air and give full disclosure. Vendetta's got a lot on his plate. He still wants to be a part of the show, but he doesn't know if he'll be able to schedule it in. Me and Saki have said, dude, you've always got a place at the table. But it's kind of on whether or not he can fit this in his schedule as it is right now, because he's kind of doing a lot of stuff. And I respect the fact that he values his free time and time with his family and whatnot. So I totally understand him being unavailable. So if we can get Vendetta on, we will get him on. But going forward, it doesn't look like that may happen anytime soon. I just wanted to clear the air. There's a lot of people been asking me about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard when you have so many goals in mind, and I know that he's of course pushing for partner, and that is a huge goal that takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and not to mention, of course, that he's also organizing stuff for the community and whatnot, and so like it makes sense. But always a place for the Johnny Cage master himself and the Fujin
Right?
buddy. He's learning Fujin.
Everybody's learning Fujin right now.
Listen, all right. That's a perfect transition to what we're gonna talk about. So for two past Sundays, we have been talking and speculating what aftermath was gonna be for us, and I just want to say that everybody that was calling Fujin a low tier is now on the Fujin train, and you are not a Fujin buddy. All right, you can mess me with that, okay?
I'm
All right,
still not on the
that's the
Fujin
first thing.
train. His Infinite's going to get patched. We know that.
Exactly,
It's not staying.
exactly.
Okay, so there's
No,
no point in getting your muscle memory and thinking you're going to go to tournaments and Infinite people. That's going to be hot fixed. I would imagine that may even come as early as Tuesday because of how obnoxiously bad that Infinite combo is.
it really is. I do like the idea of like a stand switch sort of, like the stand switch cancel, because it kind of adds to the purpose of stand switching. But on that same token, though, you need to patch that. And everybody's like, "Oh, Saki, you should learn that infinite." I'm like, "Why? It's gonna be patched in like literally this week. What are you doing? What are you saying?" It's like as
Yeah.
if you were saying, "Oh, I'm learning Raiden because of the infinite." Really? That thing got patched like within 2 days.
Yeah. It's not staying. I think everybody's jumping on the Fujin train just because he looks so fucking cool. Like, let's be real.
That part I can agree.
He
Yes,
is
he
one of the
looks
coolest
very
looking
cool.
characters. He looks like a Devil May Cry, like Bayonetta character in Mortal Kombat.
I love how you say that because there's an actual 12, like there's an actual hair, that is supposedly what they define the virgin hair, not virgin. Oh my god, the Virgil hair.
Virgin Fujin versus Chad Raiden.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. But no, and honestly, I think that the three characters that came out, definitely Fujin has been the coolest. I definitely think that if I had to rate the tier, I personally would put as Shiva for gameplay as number one, Fujin as number two, and RoboCop as number three. To be honest.
Wow. That's almost the exact opposite of what I would put.
Really, I want to hear this one, and I'll tell you I'll tell you my opinions on why that's that. But I would like to hear because I haven't actually seen anything of like I haven't really seen anything of what she said about the recent patch and the characters. So now I'm really curious.
So I have, first of all, big shout outs to Mr. Haku, who is my secret scientist who gets me my tech. RoboCop is absolutely top tier. Like and in his other variations, he has a trade combo that if you trade hits with him, he gets a guaranteed 30%.
Really?
And we were labbing it and working on it yesterday. And he was showing me the tech with that. So first of all, me and him kind of agree that variation 2 is RoboCop's best variation. The zoning is just obnoxious. He is very hard to get in on, and when he gets in, or when you get in on him, he has a 10-frame mid that's staggerable and hit confirmable for, special moves and whatnot. Like, he can make it safe. Also, in that variation, he has the shield. Shield canceling 1-2-1 on block puts him at +6. So when he does 1-2-1, he's unsafe. But if you shield cancel and then release the shield immediately, that cancel is so fast that he's actually at +6 on block. So everything he does, like, he's a zoner that can make every string either safe or plus on block when you get in on him. Like, he's broken. He is not fair. And again, like I said, in his zoning variation, he loses the trade combos. So the trade combos are in variation 3. He can sit there and punish you for trading a poke with him. So you do a down 1 and you're eating 30% on a trade. And RoboCop's eating, you're down 1, but you're eating like 30% in the corner. He could probably get more. That's variation 3. I don't believe that one has the shield, so I think that would be a little bit oppressive if he also had the shield in variation 3. But in variation 1 and 2, he's got the shield, and in variation 2, he has the zoning. So like this character's disgusting. Like, he's got so much stuff that he can do. And that's for archetypes that don't do that. Like a zoner that can make themselves plus. How is that like fair?
I mean, wouldn't you say that like Cetrion, a zoner, I understand what you're saying on the plus side, but wouldn't it be the same as Cetrion with all those staggers that she has? Like, she's a zoner, but she has all of those staggers, all of those kind of like pressure in the corner, as well as that teleport. Like,
yeah, I agree. And look who's winning, who's doing well in tournaments is Dragon with Cetrion.
Exactly. So I feel like it shouldn't be coming as a surprise that the archetype that RoboCop instills is like a surprise. He doesn't fall under one category. He literally falls in a definition of himself.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% that, like, he's not really a hard zoner. He's more of a, like, I described him initially as, I don't know if you play Virtua Fighter, but there's a character in Virtua Fighter called Dural, who's like the boss, and her move set is just, she has everybody's best moves. Like, she doesn't have her own command list. And I feel like that's RoboCop. Like, he doesn't have a command list. He just has everybody's best move.
I actually can see that, because every time I see him in like the close-up game, I'm literally I actually think I said this last night to one of my friends and mentors. I said this, that RoboCop is like a mixture of Terminator and Cetrion when it comes to the zoning.
A little bit. I see him more as like if Captain Cold and Jackie Briggs had a character.
I did not play Injustice 2 very in depth. So what did Captain Cold?
Captain Cold was just an obnoxious zoner. Like, he just kept you out with very, very small damage and keeping projectiles and things on different parts of the screen, which is, what everybody thought Scarlet was going to be with her multiple projectiles, and that ended up not really being the case. She's more of a mid-range character. So RoboCop is kind of filling that niche of, like, I'm going to put a projectile here, 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 and here, and you have to guess where it's going to be and avoid it. And then he's got a staggerable forward 3-2. It's a 10-frame mid that advances, that's staggerable, that's hit confirmable. He can sit there and let it rock and make it kind of safe. Like the last hit or the last 3 hits are highs, so you can duck them. But he's got mid options. He can go with that just to throw you off. He's got the shield cancel in 2 variations. So like he can stagger you and pressure you obnoxiously, just like Jackie, and also fill the screen with projectiles. So RoboCop is good. Like he's really, you don't even have, I feel like he's going to be a big carry character. He's going to be kind of like, and I know people are going to get mad at me for saying this, like Jackie. Like you don't actually have to be good at making reads and outthinking your opponent. Like once you get the muscle memory in to do his stuff, you just do it. Like you just fill the screen with projectiles and then you get in and you pressure with shield cancels and all of that. And his stuff isn't even as hard as Jackie's. Jackie requires execution. You're going to spend a month in the lab to get her to work. Whereas with RoboCop, like you're going to spend maybe a week.
That is true. That is true. Because everybody kind of has said that despite the pressure and despite the like gameplay of Jackie, like she's very tough to actually get hands on, and takes a lot of like practice. So that's interesting.
Yeah, well, she's a brain dead character, but that's not telling the whole story. She's brain dead, but she's actually very not hands dead. So, like, her strategy is very simple and mindless. Get in, pressure, hit confirm for combo, keep the mix-ups going. But, like, actually physically doing that with your hands is difficult. So, it's kind of like every other character in this game is the opposite. It's like they're not brain dead. You have to make a lot of reads and outthink your opponent. But when you make that read, you know, it's special move, you know, string into special move for a quarter of your damage. Like they're not executionally very difficult, but their mind game is. Whereas Jackie's the opposite. Her mind game is very, very simple. Like she doesn't have to outthink you. If she gets in, it's you're playing her game until you get her out. But it's hard to do her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I feel like RoboCop is kind of he's not as intricate and deep as Jackie in the close range. Obviously, Jackie is better at that than RoboCop. But when he gets in, his game plan is very, very simple. There's not a whole lot behind it. And he can pressure you and rush you down obnoxiously. And then once you get him off of you, he's got ridiculous zoning. Like, he's kind of got it all. I think so far, of the 3, RoboCop is the most powerful character. And that's like, I haven't seen anything from the other 2 characters that leads me to believe that they're on RoboCop's level. I think they're good, but they're not stupid. Like, RoboCop blows up your health bar when you hit him.
I don't know. I feel like Shiva's Variation 3 kind of is. If it's not at that level, it is so close to that level.
Shiva is close. The thing is, Shiva can still be spaced. You can't space out RoboCop. He's got a million projectiles. So Shiva has an inherent weakness, right? She's got the jump. She's got the leap. And again, another shout out to Haku. He showed me a frame trap you can do with Shiva in Variation 3, and that's kind of what's making her really, really strong. But you can still space her out, and she still kind of has to respect neutral. She doesn't have to respect zoning because she can teleport stomp from the zoning range. But from the neutral, like someone like with good buttons like Scarlet or Noob Saibot, if they're good enough, can keep her out and keep her from doing things. You know, Noob Saibot can interrupt teleport with Ford 2-2 if she does it at a bad range. So... yeah. She's got that weakness, whereas I don't think RoboCop, like, even if RoboCop has bad buttons, right? Like, Noob Saibot can harass him with forward 2-2 as well, but RoboCop has a projectile to just stop that, and a lot of fast ones. So, Shiva's projectile, she can't play. You look at a character that has, like, a similar weakness, like Liu Kang has really bad buttons in the mid-range, but at least he's got his projectile, which you can jump over and punish him, but at least he's got that to stop you from getting buttons on screen. Whereas, like, Shiva, she's got forward 1, but that's going to get outspaced by, like, half of Scarlet's command list. And, you know, we're also looking at a game that involves characters like Cetrion. You know, a character like Kano. Kano can forward one on Shiva pretty. I think Kano is actually a bad matchup for Shiva. We've found some tech with Kano.
Really?
Kano can Kano ball the leap on reaction, and it will whiff every time, and Kano is safe. I think the same thing with Raiden. Raiden can Superman. So as soon as she jumps in the air, you Kano ball. If she delays it, the Kano ball flies so far that she's still gonna miss. And if she doesn't, like, you get away, and like you can't really punish her. Like, you miss the whole, okay, I'm gonna dash forward or backwards and punish her. You miss that, but you're safe, and Kano can go back to zoning or whatever. I think Liu Kang's flying kick can do the same. These are characters that have zoning options that, you know, Shiva doesn't have. So they can escape the leap pressure and the leap mix-up entirely. And, again, like someone like Kano could just forward one and stop Shiva's advance in the mid-range and kind of control the match.
So we do have a Raiden main Echo in the chat. He says that Raiden gets a Superman crushing blow if she stomps and avoids to Tela when she telestomps.
See, there's that. I mean, Raiden got castrated. He's probably the worst character in the game after getting buffed. But
so okay. So interesting enough, I have heard from listen. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says, but you will not tell me, okay, that people. I will only listen to 3 Raiden mains, 3, because they are the only Raiden mains. That is Pluralmight, all right. That is Patient Impulse, and that is Echo. I have 2 of those saying that because they could not use Rajan, because the supposed buffs, it affected Rajan so much that they feel like they nerfed Raiden. And I have Echo saying that like the buffs are exactly what Raiden needed.
Well, here's the problem with the buffs.
So
So we've discovered the tech, and I actually went and tested it out and discussed it with a guy named Lanky, who is probably the best Raiden in California. One of, if not the best, one of. It'd probably be between him and Skadoodly, who's the top Raiden in California. And we went over the tech. First of all, with Raijin has been deleted because now, because of the back 1-2 and a lot of the changes to his frame data, his staff stomp, the move that makes him safe, is now flawless blockable on almost every string. I think only forward 4 into the staff stomp, even with the charge, I think that's the only, and that's with the charge, forward 4 into the staff stomp is safe and not flawless blockable. Every other string he does that stomp into is flawless block punishable. Now, it's character dependent on whether or not your flawless block will give you a flawless block up 2, but you like Garrus will reach. Garrus's flawless block up 2 reaches. Kotal Khan, Shao Kahn, who just got buffed to the moon. A lot of characters can flawless block up 2 his staff stomp off almost every string. Now, the buff of the back 1-2 leading into a grab, we found an option select for every character that can stop it. If you just crouch block it, the grab whiffs. It's bugged. That's the problem, is that the grab is bugged and it whiffs on crouch blocking characters. Most characters crouch blocking. We tried it.
We're talking about the string that like he'll do, like, I think.
Yeah, back
like
1-2.
Yeah, back 1-2.
So back 1-2 into grab is bugged, and it's whiffing on characters that are crouch blocking. We tried it on a small character, which was Johnny Cage. We tried it on a female character, which was, I think, Jackie we tried it on. It whiffed on them. Then we tried it on regular-sized characters, and that was Kung Lao, and it whiffed on Kung Lao. You can option select just block everything. There's no mix-up. If he goes for the grab, you're still blocking, and you can actually whiff punish the grab. So the grab will whiff even if you're blocking, and you can just micro duck it like you would any other grab and just punish him with a jab combo. We found full combo punishes with all the characters we tried it with. It is bugged. I don't know that that's how it's supposed to work, but it's not working. So there's no mix-up. If he does back 1-2, for some reason it whiffs, and you just punish it for a full combo. If he decides not to do the grab, it is still -8. You can still punish it with most of the cast. So Raiden was like basic, like his best variation, Raijin, now has tons of flawless block gaps, and the string that got buffed the most, it doesn't even work. His other variations, like that relied on that string more than anything else and making that thing more safer, was supposed to be a buff to like what is it, Truth and Light and Thunderwave. Those variations can't even use that string at all anyways. Like Raiden was basically deleted from the game with this expansion.
Uh, I don't know. I see where Echo comes from. Because again, like I said, I know of only three Raidens that I whose opinions I actually take really, really, really high, because I've seen these players actually play since day one and actually ask for uh, these changes, and it's interesting just to see how like basically these three people have different opinions, and it's like, oof.
Well, I mean, are
NRS,
they
what have
taking
you
into
done?
consideration how bugged it is? Because on paper, those buffs actually would help Raiden a lot. But the fact that it's bugged and you can get a full combo punish on block when you block a grab, right? Like that was the balancing act of, oh, we're going to make this string unsafe, but there's a grab. So if you're trying to punish the string, the grab will come out fast enough to stop you. But like the fact that you can option select it, we were option selecting it. If you like, if you're fighting someone that's Thunder Wave and he's going for the, if he just let YOLO Lightning Circle or whatever it is that he does, the combo extender. If you just YOLO that, you can option select block and then down one, and it like blows up like every option off of that. Other than the YOLO Lightning Ball, which you can just block and punish on reaction anyways because it's slow enough. So you just hold the block, see if he's going to cancel into the combo extender. If he doesn't, then you neutral duck and punish it the normal way. If he does anything other than the combo extender, you just down one and it interrupts everything.
I think at the end of the day, it definitely comes down to how people play him, and I do strongly believe that there are not many people who they saw the buffs and are like, "Oh, Raiden's viable now," and then they actually touch the character, and it's like, "Oh, I don't think this character got buffed at all. Let me drop him." And I think that that's where like the whole like, did he get really buffed or did he get really nerfed, or is it like a buff that's really disguised as a nerf? Because there was a character that happened before that. I think it was Geras, if I'm not mistaken, where he's gotten nerfed, but like, sorry,
But it
he's
was a
gotten
secret
supposedly
buff.
buffed. It was the secret buff, right? Like basically there was a buff, but it really wasn't a buff. It was really a nerf type of deal. I think that's what Raiden's happening right now with him, is that like depending on who you're talking to, that's the opinion on him. But definitely, I can agree on one thing for sure, is that people thought that the buffs, people in general think buffs, oh, this character is now viable. And it's like, no, you
Well,
have to put in work
but the
with the
problem is we don't
character.
know if the buffs would make him viable because they don't work. They're bugged. They're glitched.
That is true. That
So
is
if
true. I
they
actually
fix
did
this
not know the
bug,
bug.
if
Yes.
they fix the bug with the grab off of back 1-2 grab and it starts working the way it's supposed to, then he may actually be good. We have no idea. We have no way of knowing right now just because like that doesn't even work the way it's supposed to. So like again, I think the jury's kind of out on whether or not the buffs are going to help. But as it is right now, like Raiden is like absolutely low tier garbage. Like he's not working as intended because the buffs that he was supposed to receive, he like they're bugged, so they don't work. And he got some like secret nerfs to like the one variation that was good. So it's really tough to say with that character whether or not he will be good. I think again when they buff or when they patch out Fujin's Infinite, I'm hoping that Raiden's bug goes with that. Because if Raiden's buff works, man, I'm interested to see how he plans out in the meta. That grab could be an interesting buff for him, but it doesn't work.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Vendetta for the host. We appreciate you, Vendetta. We are missing you right now. We hope you have a good luck tonight in your exhibition that you're hosting. Thank you again. Welcome everybody to the Combat Rap Pack podcast. We're
right?
we're sticking with the combat rat pack because it sounds really weird calling us combat packs when we're not DLC characters.
Hey, hey, hashtag goals, girlfriend. Hashtag goals.
We're not even DLC skins. What makes you think we're
I
DLC
want I want
characters?
Cetrion to get a Saki skin with fucking glasses and curly hair and cat ears. I want that. I want a Sindel skin, a Sindel Saki skin. You said you have connections at NetherRealm. How do we make this happen? Do we have to
I,
start a
I I
hashtag?
would need to talk to the animator to be
Do we
honest.
need to start a hashtag? Because people are like, yo, man, Kung Lao should have a top hat skin for the Badger.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I would be down for that, but I don't know anybody at NetherRealm. And the people that I have met, I kind of made them mad. But they're not at NetherRealm anymore, so I don't know if that matters. Maybe they said something about me to their friends. Maybe they didn't. I don't know that NetherRealm would ever put me in the game, but they seem to like you. We got to get a Saki skin on Sindel.
Yo, I think my character actually did the infinite at one point in this tower. That's
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
Yeah. Look at that. The AI knows the infinite too, which brings me up to actually like a really good and next point. I think this patch and this aftermath has been probably the most buggiest filled patch in NRS in the NRS game in like MK11 history patches. It has been so buggy. There's been so many graphical glitches. There is not only graphical glitches, but there's infinites all over the place. Towers aren't working. Even towers and story aren't working. And that is just very insane to me. And I think I would like to say that it probably contributes to the fact that it could not be so clean due to the virus and what is happening in like the world right
Yeah,
now.
I think a lot of that it was the problems are QA problems, and obviously NetherRealm doesn't have QA running full steam ahead right now, and as much as it sucks, and I have a viewer that plays on PC, and the guy is just having problems. Like, he can't get anything to work on the PC version. And as much as it sucks, and as much as I feel bad, I kind of am giving NetherRealm like the benefit of the doubt. Like, I'm not, people usually call incompetence. They're like, "Oh, NetherRealm sucks, and this is why it's
Mm-hmm.
that way," because they're all idiots and they don't know how to make a game. And I'm like, dude, like, they got this thing out. Granted, the heavy lifting was done last year, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the QA and stuff that would have happened months before released, and people were trying to QA it. When they did the combat casts, like Stephanie actually had the Aftermath DLC at home so they could stream that content. So, like, QA is working from home and not having very good, communication and whatnot. It's going to be delayed because people are emailing and waiting for Zoom calls and all that. So I'm cutting them some slack on it. Hopefully they can get it squared away. I have
So,
faith in NetherRealm, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but it is unfortunate how buggy it's been.
yes. Interesting enough, this was actually from Square Enix that I remember seeing this tweet from. I believe it was when they were talking about their MMO when like in regards to updates and basically letting the community know, hey, because of what's happening right now, obviously the promised updates are delayed. And interesting enough, they were discussing how uh, these developers normally when they go into office there's huge server rooms, there's computers with literally the power of like an iron giant practically, basically pumping out energy and information and storage and all of this, just brain CPU power basically. And you have these offices that are filled, and obviously this makes the job easier to run, but it's not the same when you have to bring all of that home and you have families. You're probably, some of these people are probably living with roommates, so obviously they don't have that power in them as well. You also have, in addition to that, just like the limited space as well as the limited power. And like, I think what Square Enix was experiencing is basically what NRS is experiencing as well, and that's where like I feel comes like as you say that like they could not QA test it, they could not do, uh, they could not do what they normally could, and obviously the big chunk of it was done, but the really small part of it that's obviously makes the change couldn't really be done until after, which is basically a live testing, and that's what we're doing. And I always say, if you want something fixed, you don't yell at a developer and tell them off. You report it and you follow up with it, and you be the nice heckler, not the bad heckler.
Well, I think that's a interesting segue to the other topic we were discussing before going live. Um, like the community at large is just bad. Like, I mean, I love my community, and from the people I've interacted with from your community, but like, come on,
I know
people,
my
there's people
community. I just
dying,
want to
you know?
say, I know my community has given you a little tough love here and there, but they always generally mean the best. And I always like to say that when you are in my community, your opinion will be heard. We may not agree with it, but we're not gonna attack you unless it's something that you actually disrespected or you're actually being really aggressive about.
Well, I don't. I take it all in stride. Again, I named my channel the Trash Talk Temple, so I know my branding. You know, I open myself up to trash talk, and I welcome any and all trash talkers to come and step into the arena with the master, because you're not going to out trash talk me. So no, but what I'm saying is like the NetherRealm community at large, like I get it, dude. It was $40. It was expensive, and like the expansion is not cheap, and it does suck that like that a lot of stuff doesn't work. But at the end of the day, like people are literally dying to disease and police. They're dying to like a lot of shit in this world right now. So as much as it sucks that the game came out as kind of a buggy mess, I don't know. I cut them some slack. I mean, again, I'm not, it's easy to say, oh, well, you're a streamer and a content creator and you're a millionaire. And I'm like, dude, I held a stream where I showed like how much I make. I'm like, dude, I make $300 maybe a month doing this. Like, I don't have a lot of money. That $40 goes a long way in my household too. Like, I don't make a lot of money being a streamer. So I get the crunch. I get that $40 was a lot of money, but I'm not going to sit here and like shit on NetherRealm for putting out a buggy expansion given the situation that the world is in. It's not their fault. Like MK11 was not very buggy when it was released. Like, yeah, it wasn't perfect. No game is, but it was a fairly competently made game, and that was with all hands on deck, with half the hands on deck. Like, you've got to expect some issues, and I'm really kind of disappointed that the community is like acting that way. Um,
I do I do feel that we it's very frustrating because every like in all fandoms there's always going to be that part of like the fans that are just too aggressive, and I'm not saying Melina stands, on the contrary, I'm just
I
saying
am a
in
Melina Stan, motherfucker.
I'm just saying in general, there's so many, like the fandom takes over basically your empathy, and it's like you completely ignore that the very people who are creating and delivering the very service you're craving and you're fanning about are human. And I think with that there is that disconnect. I don't want to say that it is all of NetherRealm's
It
fault.
is their
I'm
fart.
so sorry. I have such an issue with my words these past few days, because on some token of level, NRS does need to be held accountable, and I think that they need to be better at communication for sure. The communication that they have right now with the community is very quiet and very like, yes, we're listening, but we're not telling you that we're listening. And I'm sure they have their reasons. I'm sure that there's obviously there's tons of reasons, I'm sure. But I do strongly believe that we also as a community have also closed off some doors, and the bad apples are ruling out the good apples. Like you have us content creators that are playing their game and we're trying to bring a very positive light, and unfortunately the bad apples are kind of like ruining it. They're obviously creating more than what there is. They're also obviously creating term drama, and I'm going to use it in quotations because it could mean a very various things. And I think that NRS is looking at them first before the people who are actually caring about the game and actually caring about the community at the end of the day as well. So I think that they do need to be a little bit better, and I think they can be. It's just given the situation, given what's going on, I also think that we need to hear both sides, and we definitely need to compromise in both ends. But yes, the community has this bad apples that are basically the fans that are over extreme, overzealous fans,
Yeah, the fucking
and
assholes are the reason why I'm never gonna get Molina in my fucking game.
were you a Melina player in MKX out of
Yes.
curiosity?
Yeah, back
Oh
one
my
was the truth, man. 6 frame mid, shit, that shit was dope. Roll around on the ground and stab people in the neck. I fucking love Molina as a character. She's one of my favorite characters in all of MK, since MK2. So like I'm like mad that everybody was trolling Ed Boon so much to the point where now he's like, yeah, fuck you guys. Like if you mention Molina, I'm banning you from my Twitter. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, I've never, ever tweeted to NetherRealm that I want Molina in the game. I've never, like, a lot of people are surprised to find out that I'm such a big Molina fan because I'm like, if she's in the game, she's in the game. If she's not, she's not. If I can get her, I'll be happy. But I'm not going to, like, harass people over it. But there are people that will harass over it. And I'm like, fuck, you guys are making it to where I'm not going to get my fucking second favorite character in Mortal Kombat. You know, and it's like I really want this character in the game. I think she'd be so much fun. Like I love I love evil bitches. All right, that's at the end of the day. I love aggressive evil bitches. Right, I don't want some goody two shoes that's a jack of all trades and plays the nooch. And no, dude, I want an evil, nasty fucking whore to jump in people's face and mix them up and be harassing and horrible. And like, I want to do that. And like, I was hoping Sindel would be that.
Are you sure you're not part of the not safe for work Discord portion of my channel?
I don't know, like maybe, but like I love like evil female characters. Like in Soul Calibur, I play Ivy, you know, in like fucking Street Fighter, I played a lot of Jury. Like I think evil women are fucking awesome. Like that's one of my favorite character. I'm a what is it a tsundere stan, I think.
I got you. I got you.
But
No,
I'm
okay.
never gonna
Why
get
didn't you
that
pick up Sindel then?
because she's not aggressive enough.
Okay, I see.
And I actually do play a lot of Sindel, but I play the zoning variation. I think that's her strongest variation. So I was looking for a zoner for matchups where I needed a zoner, and for the most part, I was playing variation 3 Sindel, although I've kind of switched over to either Robocop or Jade. I think Emerald Defender is really, really strong right now, and actually, Jade's non-zoning variations, I think, are her strongest ones, but I think that her zoning variation is still really good. So that's who I'm playing as a zoner. But if I want to play as an evil bitch, like, I don't have that. Jackie is like,
Scarlet?
Jackie's
Not
a
even
good guy.
Scarlet?
Scarlet's not aggressive enough. I don't want to sit there and space someone out with forward 2 and mix them up with blood balls. Like, if there was an evil Jackie, give me a Jackie, like, Revenant, and I'm in. With like Revenant dialogue. Like I don't want like fucking Johnny Cage where he's got a Revenant skin but he's still like a good guy. Like I want like if Jackie were evil and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking punch you in the dick because I'm a bad bitch. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm playing that shit. And evil Jackie is what I want. And I was hoping that Molina would be that, and it's just not there. Like it's not happening for me. So that makes me sad.
I really think though that as content creators too, and this is now kind of going a little bit further to what I was saying. I think there's not enough content creators dedicated to making the community
Absolutely.
better.
Absolutely.
I think when you look at a content creator for any game, personally for me, I think it's all about community, networking, and not just gameplay. Yes, gameplay comes into factor because, and I believe it was you that was saying this. Nobody wants to see a Baraka. Uh, no, sorry, I'm sorry, a Kano, basically doing what Kano does. Like that's not entertaining, and that has a lot to do with things, of course. Um, Being a top player, also to again, that's a separate issue. That is something that obviously relies on the skill, and again, that is a separate issue, and it's a very valid issue, but it is not where I'm trying to point in. I'm trying to point more to that when you're watching a streamer, are you looking for them as someone who is toxic and trolly and trying to basically get the bad vibes of basically everything in the community and just pouring it out into the content, or are you trying to look for someone who will welcome you and actually make you say, "Hey, I'm having a laugh. I'm actually enjoying this. I'm actually really enjoying this community. I'm really enjoying the games. I can beat them up and they won't get upset. Even if anything, they'll just get super salty and then move on." I think there's not enough of that. And I think the community is at a point where that is kind of like the side that you're choosing when you're entering into content creation. I feel like the aspiring streamers that are growing and getting into the community are kind of like, well, this person's getting a lot of views and and a lot of attention because they're saying really uh mean things, trolly things, they're telling people off, they're having beef sets, they're doing all of this. And then you have the other side where it's like, yeah, we have those beef sets, but at the end of the day they're just beef sets. We squash it and we move on and we have fun, we troll each other, we talk to each other, and we move on in our separate ways. And I think that there's not enough of the right side, which
Well,
which is the
as someone
positive
who
side.
built his whole career on Twitch as being the toxic asshole that talks trash, and like that's literally the name of my channel, I think that a lot of people are kind of approaching that wrong, and I see a lot of people trying to do what I do and just failing at it. And the
You know what?
reason,
I'm glad you're talking actually, Badger, because I just realized, yes, you built your community off of just like trash talking and making fun of people when they like when you fuck them up in Combat League and like I would love to hear this.
a
Is
lot of
what I'm trying.
people are trying to emulate what I did, because what I did, and I was thinking of making a YouTube video on that, because like what I've done is kind of unheard of. Like I have hundreds of viewers. Like I'm one of the bigger channels on Twitch as far as Mortal Kombat. I've never won a major. I've won locals. I've done well, in that respect. I've never gone and made top 8. I'm not sponsored by any teams as of right now. And yet my Twitch channel is blowing up. And I'm doing all the wrong things, right? I didn't start on YouTube. I didn't start as a competitor. Um, and people are kind of looking at what I'm doing and they're like, how the hell is this like a thing? And one of the things is what I aspired to bring to the Mortal Kombat community is something that I really am passionate about. And that is the Tekken community. So a lot of you that have been around my channel know that like I was very competitive in Tekken for a long time. And I'm very well rooted in the Tekken community. I have friends, like, famous friends in Tekken. I'm not going to, like, put any of them on blast right now, but I have literal, like, cell phone numbers on my phone of, like, pro Tekken players. And what got me interested in Tekken, because I've been FGC my whole life. And I remember I was at Super Arcade where the legendary Wednesday Night Fights takes place, but it wasn't during Wednesday Night Fights. They had like casual Fridays where you could train for Wednesday Night Fights. And so I was there and I was playing Marvel 3 at the time. And I was practicing at Marvel 3, getting sets in with the local players. And there was this ruckus behind me of just people saying like the most awful, terrible shit. And they were loud and people laughing at each other and all of that. And I looked, and it was Rip MYK, Just Frame James, and I want to say Sukin. But it was like those four guys sitting at an old fucking vanilla Tekken 6 machine, just shitting on each other and having the time of their lives. And then I looked back at all the people playing Marvel 3, and everyone was like a fucking super serious, try-hard basement virgin. And I was like, dude, I don't want to be a part of this community. I want to be in that community. Like, look at those guys are having fun. Like Just Frame James is making fun of Rip for being Indian, and then they're high-fiving and having a great time. Like, I want to be, those guys are having fun. This is what gaming is about. So I literally walked over there, and I just said, hey, I want to play Tekken, and I'm going to play with you guys. And they welcomed me with open arms. You know, they were talking shit on each other, but they ended up being like some of the nicest guys there. They're like, oh yeah, man, this is how you Korean backdash, and oh, okay, yeah, when you do this, you're +5, you want to do this and this. And they taught me literally like how to play at the high competitive level. Like everything, and I tell everybody, I'm like, everything I learned about playing fighting games at a high level, I learned from like Rip and like MYK and Just Frame James. Like those were my senseis. And I was like, I love Mortal Kombat, and I love NetherRealm games, and I looked at the Mortal Kombat community, and this was at the time like Injustice was out, and it was like the Marvel 3 community, a bunch of try-hard basement virgins with no personality, not having fun. They looked miserable playing the fucking game that they supposedly loved, and I was like, man, and this is something I'd spoke with Vendetta, like, I was like, listen, man, the NetherRealm community needs what the Tekken community has. And that was my goal, is I'm going to bring that to NetherRealm. Because I've been a part of that. I saw it happen. I know how to do it. I'm going to bring that. That's what NetherRealm needs. They need that. They need the Tekken community attitude. And that was something that Vendetta was telling me. He was like, listen, man, you may be holding yourself back by being a part of the NetherRealm community. You know, like the game doesn't pull the numbers that Tekken does. You'd be like going hard. You'd be a partner right now if you were doing Tekken. But I was like, listen, man, Tekken is fine. Like those guys already stream. Like Rip is probably streaming Tekken today, you know? Like Tekken already has that. Mortal Kombat doesn't. So that was my goal, is to bring that there. And yeah, we talk shit and all that, but at the end of the day, it's just for fun. It's for jokes. It's to be funny and to lighten the atmosphere. And a lot of people have kind of taken what I do in the wrong direction of like, oh yeah, like it's just about being toxic and shitting on people. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm shitting on my friends. It's like, it's a bro moment, you know? Like I'm not shitting on like people if I don't like you, then we're not talking. Like I'm not telling jokes. We're not having a good time. I don't like you. We're not talking. You don't exist. But if I'm talking shit about you, it's because I like you. And I want you to talk shit back to me. And the NetherRealm community's just taken that in the wrong direction. Like, oh yeah, it's about beef. It's about starting drama. And it's like, no, that is unsustainable. Like you can't make your channel based on beef and drama. You know why? Because you're always one fucking salty loss away from everything going away. Right? So when I sit there and I talk shit and I'm like, yeah, Saki, you suck and you're free and I'll beat your ass. And then when you beat me, it's like, all right, yeah, you know what? You still suck. You know? And it's funny, right? It's just jokes.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting there like really beefing and I'm like, Saki, you're a fucking tramp and I fucking hate you and you're a piece of shit and I'm going to kick your ass and take your money, and then you beat me, my career is done. This is something that like another content creator tried to start a fight with me on Twitter and I instantly shut it down. And I was like, no, like other content creators are trying to like, you know, money match me and all that. And I was like, no, it's not worth my time. I have nothing to gain and only to lose. If I beat your ass, whatever, people are going to forget that I beat your ass next week when the next beef is going down. If I lose, my channel's dead. So no, I'm not going to play you. You could talk all the shit you want and you can continue your life thinking that I'm free, and I don't care because my channel is an entertainment channel and I'm a personality streamer more first and foremost. And like, if you want to get some games, then we'll get some games, and you beat my ass, I beat your ass, and we have a good time and we make jokes about each other. But I'm not going to get caught up in your beef and risk my entire career just so that way you can clout chase. And on the flip side of that, like I'm not really interested in ruining someone's career just to expand my own. because I think that that's bad for the community. If I started beef with you and and I beat your ass and I beat you in a money match and now your stream is over, well, where are your viewers going to go? They're not going to go to my channel because they're mad at me because I've fucking ruined your channel, right? They're just going to leave Mortal Kombat. That's going to shrink
It's
the
like
community.
nobody wins. It's like a double-edged sword that nobody
Yeah.
wins. And then you did all of that work, all of that like energy spent, and you're the one that lost. You're the one that not just lost in the game, but you lost literally everything. And I think right now for me, as like someone who's still very relatively new to the community and to the FGC as a whole, I strongly believe that this is what my goal is as a member of the community, and it's to keep that idea of, let's have fun, let's trash talk, but let's not be dicks to each other about it. Let's bring it together and make it fun. Like, bring the competitive hype together, not separate us and make us literally pay with the very hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears that we're pouring into this, and be the price for our beef and our like struggle and just everything negative, just negativity. Like, throw it out. We don't need
Yeah.
it. We don't want it.
Well, and I think that, well, the thing is, I honestly think that the negativity is a problem that takes care of itself, right? A lot of people are kind of jealous of my success, and a lot of people kind of wish they had what I have, and they don't understand the hard work I put into it, and they wish to like just start a beef and try and steal it, right? Try and take it. I get people that come into my channel all the time, and they know that I'm not running from a fight. Like, I'll play anybody, and then as soon as I lose, like, that's getting clipped and put on Twitter, right? And I'm like, I've had people come into my own personal Discord and try and advertise their stream on my Discord while I'm streaming. And I'm like, whatever, dude. You think you could take my viewers? By all means, fucking do it. Because if you, as an idiot, can steal my viewers and I can lose out to someone like you, then maybe I don't deserve to be a streamer. But I am confident in what I do, and I'm confident in my community, that my community isn't going anywhere just because you're a clout chasing piece of shit. So I shrug
very
that off.
rough words and very blunt words, but I echo the same idea. If my viewers feel that, or rather my community feels that they don't think uh I'm too much, or if I'm too salty, or if anything, like if they think that I'm chasing clout, then I don't deserve them. Basically, I don't deserve uh them being here and supporting me, because that's not my intentions. Those are not my goals. I'm here to just create a really fun and amazing experience with my streams and with the game itself too. And I think that that's where I definitely like. One person actually just said in chat, like, if when people that run into you in Combat League and they only come into your stream to say GGs, it's like, bro, if you didn't start off here when we played and you're just coming in now, it's like I'm not gonna take offense to it, but we know what you're actually thinking. We know what you're trying to do. I've had a couple of people actually do that to myself as well.
Oh
But
yeah.
again, at the end of the day, if that person wants to go and follow that person, then maybe that's on me. Like, I shouldn't be caring about that.
Yeah.
And I think people care too much about the wins. It's actually kind of going to what we said before. Like, people care too much about the win and not about the experience, and that's way more worth it than the win.
Well, and exactly, it's that whole model. And again, I've said, I come from a finance background. I worked at a bank for 10 years. So I kind of understand how business works. And that model is unsustainable. Like, you can't build your entire company, right? Because we're basically business owners, you and me. You can't build your company based on an idea that can be taken away so quickly. It's not sustainable. You have no longevity and you have no career, right? So people that try to do that sort of thing, and it's like, no, like, yeah, my stream and my show is based on being an asshole, but that's, I mean, it's not necessarily a character. That's just, my personality, with the volume increased. But at like when I teabag someone and beat their ass, like I take them aside and show them how I fucked them up. I say, this is what I did. Here's how you beat it. Next time you better do this. And I've done that many, many times on stream where like I just shit on somebody in Combat League and I fucking make fun of them and I teabag them and I'm like horrible and awful and they start messaging me and they're like, I want a first to five, I want a money match, and then I just wreck them in the first to five in the money match, and then I say, okay, now that that's over and we had our fun, here is how I beat you. This is what I did. This is what you can do to beat me. If you're serious about getting better at the game, you can come to my stream. You can join my community. You can learn from me and all the very talented players that I surround myself with. We will make you better, and one day it will be you shitting on me. And most of my community is people like that. People like that are like, all right, you know what? This guy's a clown and he's an asshole, but he extended the olive branch. I'm going to take him up on it. And now those are actually some of my most loyal and cherished viewers. They're like, you know what? Like, this is legit what you're doing. Like, what you're doing is kind of important because, yeah, we're having fun, but like, you're not having fun at my expense entirely. You're having fun at my expense and then saying, hey, you want to have this fun too? Come join us. We're having fun. And a lot of content creators aren't doing that. And, you see like teabag compilations and it's all of that. And it's like, how many of those people that you teabag did you reach out to afterwards?
Exactly.
Because I reach out to them. When I teabag someone, I'm like, hey, man, like, sorry I teabagged you. It's what the viewers want on Twitch. They get mad when I don't. But, you're actually pretty good at this game, and I'd love to get like serious sets in with you. And people are like, God damn it, Badger, we don't like it when you're wholesome and caring to people. Like, we want you to shit on them. And I'm like, well, I already did shit on him, but at the end of the day, that's like a dude. Like, that's a dude playing this game. Like, he just got off work, and he probably, got told that he's getting furloughed because of the coof. And he just came home to play some Mortal Kombat, and here he has this fucking idiot white and black Kung Lao teabagging him and making fun of him on Twitch. Like, yeah, it's hilarious, but at the end of the day, if I were to leave it at that, that guy quits the game and never comes back. And my audience, and not just my audience, but MK's audience shrinks, right? It just gets smaller. Every day it's that war of attrition of somebody gets blown up because they don't understand the game at the level that I do, and I take advantage of that, and I blow their ass up, and they say, you know what, fighting games aren't for me, I'm going to go play Call of Duty. And no, like, that's not my mission. That's not my goal. My goal is, and I've said this to Brian Compton, right? I don't know if you know who that is, but he's kind of a big event organizer here in SoCal. He ran the Summit of Time and all of that. I remember having this discussion with him, and I said, dude, we had a tournament, and there was like 20 people at our local tournament. And I said, Brian, like 11 million people bought this game. Where the fuck are they? Like, where are these 11 million people? He's like, I don't know. Why don't you go get them? And that was like his challenge to me, to go out and get them. And that's kind of what I'm doing. And yeah, we have fun. We talk shit. We tell jokes, and we're awful, terrible people. But I'm still, at the end of the day, using that as a recruitment thing of, look at how much fun these games can be. If you got good enough to beat me, and I ain't shit. I'm like nobody, right? Like, I fucking get wrecked and I go into fucking Prince Panthers tournaments. I'm nobody. But you know what? I have a fucking blast when I play this game, and I want you to have a blast when you play this game too. And hey, if you beat my ass, you can make fun of my hat. So there's your motivation. And the idea is retention. You've got to be able to keep people in the community. People aren't doing anything to retain viewers. They're not doing anything to retain players. NetherRealm can only do so much. Their job is not to build the community. Their job is not to extend what we've got. Their job is to make a fucking game. It's our job as a community to make it grow. That's our job. And we're not doing a very good job of it because 11 million people have bought this game. And I look on Twitch's numbers and 3,000 people are watching it. And we host tournaments for like 200 people. And that's a good turnout. So we, as a community, aren't doing our job in retaining players.
I agree.
And that's
really
our failure. That's our failure.
I,
We have nobody to blame but ourselves. When, somebody like Foxy Grandpa complains like, "Oh, I'm not going to fly to this tournament because the pot isn't big enough and it's very expensive and I have a family." And it's like, well, you can't blame the tournament for that. Like, you can't blame who you blame all the people. Like, I'm not yelling at Foxy Grandpa, but I'm saying you need to blame all the assholes that aren't doing anything to get more people into our community. Because if there were
exactly.
more people actually going out and spreading the word and showing people the fun and joy that could be had with fighting games, then you know what, Foxy? You'd be making more money at your tournaments.
Not just that, it would make more tournaments easily accessible, so that maybe that tournament you can get to, but there'll be more locals, there'll be more people interested, and then you can start building that community. It's a little bit too like here in Florida, like most of the scene is actually up north, and as much as it sucks, it's my job as the Florida scene to help basically bring that attention back, show that this is a game worth diving into. I'm sure many people in Florida play this game. We come from a really strong scene in the first place. Yes, we're spread out, but we have to put in the work and show that this is a two-way street. This is teamwork and like building it and
Well,
making the dream work basically.
and it's good that you mentioned you're from Florida because Florida's big major is CEO, and people don't understand that CEO stands for Community Efforts Orlando. Like, Jabali is not like some millionaire who threw a bunch of money out. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Jabali runs CEO, but there's like 1,000 people working with Jabali to make CEO happen. It's not a one man show. It is a community effort. That's why he named it CEO.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I feel like the NetherRealm community, they're so, and I honestly blame a lot of this on NetherRealm. Because NetherRealm, they fund a lot of prize pots, and this is something that I've talked to with Alex Valle a lot and Mike Watson, and they said that this is not really good because when that money, if there's a Mortal Kombat tournament and NetherRealm didn't put $2,000 into the pot, no one's showing up. Whereas if there was a fucking Skullgirls tournament, the Skullgirls community is showing up, whether or not Mike Z put any money into it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the one of the problems. Like, honestly, I want NetherRealm to stop funding tournaments, and I know that's my hot take, right? And I'm gonna get shit on Twitter for saying that, but I want them to stop and be more hands off and make the community, force the community. If you fucking love this game, then you get your ass out there and you fucking work. Because I stream for fucking 9 hours, 5 days a week, and then I spend 10 hours the other 2 days, right? There's only 7 days in a week, and I spend all 7 days on doing shit for Mortal Kombat. I'm busting my ass, right? And everybody that cares about this game and cares about this community needs to be fucking doing that shit. But they're not. They're just sitting there waiting for NetherRealm to put a fucking prize pot so that way they have a reason to get out of bed. And it's like, no, dude, like that's not sustainable. Because if NetherRealm decides to stop putting money into Mortal Kombat, does that mean you're going to stop playing it? And that's exactly what happens because nobody plays X, nobody plays
It's true.
Injustice, everybody plays 11, and it's like, dude, that's not like the
I'm
story I
actually
told. Go ahead.
I'm I'm genuinely curious what is going to happen with online Evo. And
I'm not.
the
I don't
I
even know if I'm going to enter it.
uh so for me, I'm going to enter it, but I'm not looking to win it. I'm looking more to doing it because it's my duty as a streamer and a content creator and a competitive player that even though Evo kind of fucked us over when it was going to have its offline, this is literally the chance to show that they are missing a community, and that's why I would be signing up, and that's why I'm going to sign up because regardless of what may happen, if I win, if I don't win, or if like half of the people of the MK show up, it at least shows that as a member of the community, I'm standing up for the game I strongly believe in. Whatever happens again, that's that would be a different conversation. That would be a conversation of like this was ran poorly, or this was horrible, like the experience was terrible, it was too much. That's a different conversation. But the conversation we're having right now is doing my duty to the community, and I'm going to do my duty and show that as a member of it, we're not a dead game. we're not a game to be missed out of, and we have many people interested in this game and in the competitive nature of this game. Unfortunately, though, not enough people are showing it, and they may have it, but they're not showing it. And this goes
I don't
right back.
agree with that entirely because MK11 had the biggest turnout for Evo any NRS game ever had. I don't think it's community support. NetherRealm absolutely, or not NetherRealm, Evo absolutely knows that the Mortal Kombat scene is out there and 11 is going strong. It's still having, when they were dropped from Evo, where they still had strong tournament numbers. Online tournaments are blowing up. The reason why I am hesitant to join Evo online is because, like, online tournaments fucking suck. Like, I don't know if I want to go through that headache. Like, offline tournaments are the most fun you will ever have. I'm telling you, there's 200 people watching me right now. I don't know how many are watching you, but if you have never been to an offline tournament, then you are shortchanging yourself. And I would, if MK was at Evo and it was an offline event, I would go because you're literally just going to chill with a bunch of people who love the game as much as you do. Right? It's like Comic-Con for fighting games. So, like, do I want to sit there and prepare for a online tournament where, like, okay, like if there's a lag spike or whatever, and I get pretty bad lag because I stream while I play and I don't make millions of dollars streaming, so I don't have the best internet package. Do I want, and if I, there's no way I could do Evo online and not stream it, like that would be pretty stupid. But do I want to join Evo Online and know that whether or not I succeed is to the whims of the internet gods? Or do I want to just do a lobby with my friends and tell some jokes? Like, which would be more fun to me? And that's why I haven't really decided. But if it was an offline Evo, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to that shit. I'm going to see all my friends. I'm going to make new friends. We're going to get drunk. We're going to hang out in Vegas. It's going to be fucking great. I would absolutely go to that, but like in my opinion, online tournaments are fucking trash. They're not even worth my time. They settle nothing, right?
They really don't. They really
Somebody
don't.
is
They do
having
not.
problems right now. I'm not naming names, but somebody's having problems because of an online tournament where the results are a little suspect because of lag. So they don't settle who's actually good, and they're not fun.
But
It's just a bunch of tryhards.
I think that's what we kind of need to like. That's where I say like, and again, it goes back to the community. We need to like place our priorities. I firmly believe that right now, with the state of the world being what it is, uh, I strongly believe that we as a community have only online tournaments right now. But I don't think it should be taken like as if we were going to Evo to compete, or if we were going to CEO to compete. Yes, there's prize money. Yes, everybody wants to try hard. Yes, there's the competitive nature. But when it comes down to the attitudes being taken, and just basically saying like, "Hey, uh, I don't agree with this. I don't think this is right, or I like these are the rules, but I don't really think that this should be like." Then why did you join in the first place? Why didn't you read in the first place? This is not something like I don't want to diminish the point of like you don't have a player right, because at the end of the day we're all players, and if something's unfair it should definitely be called out. But if it's been followed by the rules, the TO made the call and all of this, are you really going to have that same energy if it was going to be done offline? Like
Uh,
they the
yeah,
per like the person offline, like what I strictly mean is like if you called in a rule to effect and the TO did their part and you agree to the rules by signing up, are you going to have that same energy offline?
exactly. Exactly. And to me, it's more of an issue of what's going to make more compelling content and what am I going to. Because again, like, I'm not going to do shit that I don't enjoy, right? People ask me, like, man, you'd be huge, like, with your personality and your jokes and your humor, you'd be huge if you played Call of Duty. You'd be a millionaire. And, like, yeah, okay, but I wouldn't enjoy it, so I don't do it. I enjoy Mortal Kombat. Fuck
Mm-hmm.
playing Call of Duty, right? Like, I'm not really, like, I don't have any money, but and I want money, right? Remember, there's a subscribe button, guys. But It's not the only thing that matters. Like, I want to have a good time first. And am I going to have more fun doing a lobby with my viewers and telling jokes, or sitting in an online tournament and then there's a lag spike and I lose to a fucking, I lose to a YOLO Sub-Zero slide because of a lag spike and I couldn't punish it in time and just be miserable? What's going to make better content for me? What's going to be more entertaining to watch? Me just being salty, throwing my controller on the ground and turning off the stream, or me telling a bunch of jokes and having the time of my life? And like, let's look at this from, a logical perspective. Like, and this is a call out to the viewers, right? What is more fun to watch? A tournament where nobody says anything and it's just two faceless, nameless people, or maybe they have names. Maybe it's Sonic Fox and Ninja Killer in this online tournament, right? Maybe they do have names, but there's nothing else going on other than a match. Those matches end and then it's done. Or what's more fun, like somebody coming into my channel and I'm doing a lobby and like it turns into a gay club. Which is what happened yesterday. My entire lobby just turned into a gay club, right? Like, what's more entertaining, compelling content?
LGBTQTA channel
right?
here. We are open.
And so what's more compelling? Because you know what? Like, yeah, I don't pull the numbers that some of these tournament channels are pulling, but how many of those people are like, I watch some of these streamers that do these big tournaments, and like on my normal regular ass day, I beat them in numbers. When they have a tournament, they beat me, they destroy me in numbers, right? I can't compete with their tournament. But when they're just streaming Combat League and viewer sets, they're not touching me. And which one is more sustainable? To have a tournament every day, or to do what I do every day? Because I can do this all day, every day. I do. But you can't have a tournament every day. You can't have those big money prize pools every day. And at the end of the day, what do those online tournaments solve? Like, Sonic Fox doesn't enter those tournaments, and Sonic Fox is the world champion. So until you beat Sonic Fox in his fucking domain, which is offline, your win doesn't fucking mean anything. And I get a bunch of online warriors that are like, oh, you're shitting on online tournaments, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, because you know what? None of you guys have beaten Sonic Fox offline. And until that happens, you're at best second place. At best, you are second place. But the number one in the world is Sonic Fox, and outside of like Ninja Killer and a couple of people, like, you ain't beating them, and you ain't gonna beat him, and you haven't beaten them. And until I see it, I ain't believing that. I ain't believing the hype. And people have kind of said, that's your hot take. Oh, you're saying this and this and this, and you're better than this player who is, this and this on the online scene. I'm like, I'm not saying I'm better than them. I'm saying Sonic Fox is. And I'd really like to see them take it to Sonic Fox in an offline tournament. But until that day happens, I don't have any opinion. I don't have any opinion on this person. I don't care about what accolades they got online. Online doesn't solve anything. It doesn't settle anything. And until you get those offline results, remember, I am not NRS, okay? I stream Mortal Kombat. I'm a part of the Mortal Kombat community, but for the most part, I'm a part of two communities. My community I built, and the FGC. And the FGC is older and stronger than NRS, okay? Because that story I told earlier about Rip and NYK playing Tekken, and I wanted to be involved with that. Tekken 6 was the game they were playing, and that game was like 6 years old. When those guys were having fun with an old game. That's a community. They weren't playing the newest, hottest game. I was. If they were into just being esports and making money, they would have been playing Marvel 3 with me, but they weren't. They were playing Tekken 6 because they loved that game, and they had a whole bunch of fun with it, and they were like, fuck it, I don't give a shit about the money. I don't give a shit about the clout. This game is fun, and I'm playing it. And that's the community that's the community aspect I'm trying to bring to the NetherRealm community, because I've seen the Tekken community is the biggest community in fighting games, and it's because of guys like Rip and MYK who brought that philosophy to Tekken and grew it, and it took them forever, but they did it, and now they're number one and no one can touch them. And so, yeah, like, you can shit on me all you want. I don't care. My own fucking viewers shit on me. I don't know if you see my chat right now, but they're shitting on me right now. You can shit on me. You can make fun of me on Twitter. You can call me a clown. You can say I'm a fraud and I'm not actually good at this game. I don't fucking care. The only person that has any right to say that I'm a fraud and I'm not good at this game is Sonic Fox, because I've never played him and I have never beaten him. And if I were to play him, like, it would be tough. But other than that, anybody else that's sitting here trying to flaunt like online results, like, no, dude, your online results, they have asterisks, right? They have an asterisk. You won XYZ tournament asterisk online.
Asterix.
Not saying you didn't win. Not saying it doesn't mean anything. I'm saying there's an asterisk.
I just I agree with you. I do think that um obviously online, like, I agree with the fact that it does, it just, it, what we're trying to say is it doesn't mean anything. I think it's more of like, yes, you won, you um yes, sorry, Emmy, we apologize, we're like in the heat of the moment, but definitely like um I do feel like when it comes down uh to just the online tournaments themselves, yes, the wins can count, but they shouldn't mean everything. They shouldn't,
They don't mean
it could be the new
anything.
normal. It could mean the new normal pretty soon.
It could, but it
But
doesn't mean anything. Look at who's making an actual career in the FGC. Who is making actual money and sustaining their livelihood and living off of fighting games, right? There's Sonic Fox, Ninja Killa. Okay, those guys are winning tournaments, but they're not the only ones, okay? Who else? Maximilian, Sajam, Eris. What do they do? They're content creators. They make entertaining content. Sajam, veers more in the direction of like educational content. Maximilian is kind of general, like hype. Eris, he kind of does what I do, but he plays Resident Evil, right? Like, that's the sustainable career path, and it's a bunch of fucking tryhards that think that they're going to be millionaires playing Mortal Kombat in tournaments, and it's like, no, Sonic Fox could be, but like, there's only, even if it wasn't Sonic Fox, there would only be that one dude. The more sustainable route for this community going forward is to be a content creator. That's why fucking Zero from Smash doesn't even enter tournaments anymore. He's like, I'm not fucking with that shit. I made less than a McDonald's employee winning Evo. Like, I'm a content creator. I'm a streamer now. And like, Zero pays his bills off streaming. And so all of these tryhards that are trying to get rich and famous off of these wins, like they won this tournament, they won that tournament. First of all, if they're online, nobody fucking cares. Nobody that matters cares. Sonic Fox isn't paying attention to who won the last Xbox tournament or the last PlayStation tournament. No, Sonic Fox is more concerned with who is going to be at fucking Final Combat. Whose ass do I got to kick there, right? So like, A, that. B, the money isn't there. You're not making a whole lot of money off of these tournaments. Sure, you could go to Prince Panther's tournaments and win a couple of $100 whenever he has them. But you better win every single one. And I don't know of anybody who has won every single Prince Panther tournament that he's had. So already you're not sustaining a livelihood. You're not like, it's a silly business model to think you can live off that alone. So that's why I said my focus on my channel. Yes, I do love offline competitive play. I do promote offline competitive play, and if there's a major and I can get to it, I'm there. But my channel, first and foremost, is an entertainment channel. It's a joke channel. It's why the name is the Trash Talk Temple, not fucking, XYZ future fucking combo breaker champion. No. Like, that's not the focus of my channel, because you know what? When those wins dry up, so does your job. But I can tell jokes for the rest of my life.
I think there should be just a kind of bridge. There should be a bridge. There should be a compromise. There should be a, 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 a way for us to welcome both the competitive side and the casual side and the entertainment side too. At the end of the day, we're a community, and regardless, like I said, the discussion isn't about if they're good or not. The discussion is like, really comes down to the community and what these players and what these content creators and what the players themselves that are just the casual audience are bringing together. And right now we're just kind of like at a divide, and it kind of sucks. 2020 has been a really shitty situation, shitty year.
Well,
It really sucks.
I think that the divide doesn't really affect me. And I tweeted this out, that there's a reason why I keep my head in the sand. I don't get involved and I don't participate in any of that shit. You could talk about me all you want. You can tweet at me and at Honey Badger all you want, and I may or may not reply whether or not I feel like it. But the thing is, people don't have realistic goals for what they're trying to accomplish. I don't think half of these people even know what they're trying to accomplish. Like, And that's what I think is the primary issue. My issue was I wanted to create the arcade trash talk atmosphere that I loved so much that I found to be fun, and I think it's the most fun thing in the world, and I want people to see how much fun it is, and maybe they will enjoy it as well. That was my goal from the start. Some people want to win Final Combat, okay? But like other people, they don't have a realistic goal. Their goal is I want to make money and I want to play Mortal Kombat doing it. But they don't have a business plan or a business model or any idea what the fuck they're doing. So when they stop getting the success or they don't get the success they feel they're deserved, they're lashing out at everybody else. And like, those people aren't worth my time. I'm not going to waste my time arguing with somebody on Twitter who is like making, less money than me, or has less reach than me, has less of a community than me. Like, I don't give a shit, dude. I don't care. I got bigger things to do. I'm planning what I'm going to do for my next show. Why are you not planning what you're going to do for your next show? Because I script shit out. I make itineraries. I do things. I spent, how many months did we spend planning this podcast, Saki? Like,
That's true.
I
That's true.
put
I remember you came to me and you're like, Saki, you have a really good personality. I have a good personality. Vendetta has a good personality. Creative has a good personality. We love the game. The community needs something positive. Why not make it this? Like, that's literally what you told me.
Yeah.
Literally word for word, practically.
And that's literally what I do all the time. I'm constantly trying to plan something, scheme something, create something, do something else. I don't have time to get caught up in beef, because if I'm sitting here arguing with some XYZ pro player tryhard on Twitter, that's time that I'm not spending creating a cool idea for a stream or a YouTube video for my community. And at the end of the day, my community is my priority. They get my time. You don't. You want my time? Join my community. Otherwise, you don't get my time.
I do want to kind of add something, because I am seeing in the chat something that I actually really appreciate, that person actually like being honest and actually letting us know. And being part of the community is not just being a good player or being a good streamer or a good content creator. There are so many aspects on being a community member, and as well as helping the community. You don't have to travel to events. I know sometimes events, like, I know, for example, me last year when I got into the community and I saw all these events happening, I said, there's no way I can get to these events this time right now. Like, I would love to, I want to be part of this, but there is no way right now that I am capable of going there. And not because of my skill set, but because of real life issues. But that didn't stop me from being part of the community. That didn't stop me from not streaming the game. That didn't stop me from learning the characters and reaching out to people and showing them what I can do, what they can do, and having fun with them and actually talking with them and actually networking with them. And that's the key word that everybody should keep in mind when they're building the community and they're actually interacting in the community. And that is networking. Networking is the absolute key word on what you can do and how you can move around and contribute to the community. So you could be from anywhere in like the most desolate place on earth, but if you're playing the game, you're part of the community. You're doing your part by playing the game. You're reaching out to people to get better. You're stopping by streams to get better. That's being part of the community too.
Well, and so something I want to mention is I agree 100% with what you're saying. Somebody in my chat is saying that I have an uphill battle. We live in the age of sensitivity and feelings, and it's, you're going to struggle to bring back that love and feeling. And yeah, I agree. It is going to be a struggle. But here's the deal, right?
I've never.
Well, no, this is the thing. When people point out my adversity that I face, I point out my success. I didn't have a YouTube channel. Okay, I wasn't Maximilian or Sajam, right? I didn't have a world title like Eris. I don't have multiple top 8s like, Scar, or I don't have a bunch of funding to host a bunch of tournaments like Aquaman. Like, I have nothing. I literally built my stream on a shoestring budget. I make like $300 a month off this fucking thing. I have nothing. I am nobody. I came from nothing. I will probably get nothing for a long time. And yet, there are 153 people right now. We were up to 200 and something watching my channel. So, as hard as the road is ahead of me, I was able to do, because, you know, they say you can't make it on Twitch unless you have a YouTube. You can't make it on Twitch unless you were an Instagram model, and I was none of that. You can't make it in the FGC unless you got top 8s. I have none of that. And yet, right now, there's 227 people watching my channel, so there is a market. There is a demand. The people want this. They're hungry for it. They're tired of that shit. They're tired of everything that fucking sucks. They want to have fun with these fucking games, and they want to remember what it was like when they were 15 years old at a local arcade playing Mortal Kombat 2 with their fucking best friend and their brother and their sister. They want that. They want it. There's a market. There's a hunger for it. I'm providing that, and my job is to just let people know that, yeah, it's here, dude. This is where it's at. So when people talk about, yeah, like you're it's a pipe dream, and I've gotten this kind of pushback from your own community, Saki. They're like, yeah, you know, you may be overly optimistic, and I'm like, no, fuck you. You're overly pessimistic, because quite frankly, I shouldn't have 200 viewers right now. There shouldn't be 200 people in my channel, because the rules say that I am fucking that I shouldn't be successful with my stream. I don't have a YouTube worth of shit. I wasn't famous beforehand, but guess what? There are people that have streamed for fucking years and years and years, and they can't pull 10 viewers. I've streamed for exactly a year now, and I've got 200 right now. So there is a market. There is a hunger for it. There is a craving for it. What I'm doing is right, and I am right in my assessment that there was a market for what I offer. And I'm not giving up, and I'm not scared. And you know what? Honestly, everybody that's not pulling the numbers that I'm pulling, then it is what it is. Like, you don't believe in what you're doing, because I do, and that's why it's successful.
So I think basically to kind of like wrap up, because we kind of like went a little over time.
We always
just
do.
Because we always do, right? I think it comes down to the community is not limited to just one stereotype or one archetype or just one thing. And I think we need to do a better job as content creators in helping sustain the community. And no matter what you are doing or where you are, you have the ability to contribute no matter what. No matter what. So, yeah.
Well, and not only that, I think sustaining the community is short-sighted. Yes, we do need to sustain what we've got so far, but I think that honestly, the focus of the community as it is right now needs to be on expansion and acquisition. We're not doing anything to do that as a whole, right? I'm out there. A lot of the people that watch my channel have never fucking heard of Twitch, right? I brought them here. I said, this is what I do for a living, sort of, kind of, right? I don't make a lot of money, but I'm not working right now, so this is where my money's coming from, right? And I'm going out and I'm bringing people in because, again, I believe 100% 11 million people bought this game. Where the fuck are they? Why did they leave? Why are they not watching content on YouTube or Twitch? Why are they not going to competitions? Why are there not more locals? You can't say that it's not numbers. Like, Skullgirls has an excuse. That game didn't sell 11 million copies. And yet, why is it their community is so much more vibrant than ours? Like, you know, and I think that honestly, we need to do a better job of getting more people involved, getting more people to come out to competitions, to do streams, to do YouTube guides, to just fucking play the game, right? To just pad the numbers on the online so it doesn't take 10 minutes to find a match. The community doesn't do anything as far as acquisition because our community isn't focused on community. They're focused on what can Mortal Kombat bring me. If I stream this game, can I make $1 million? You know, if I play in this tournament, can I win, you know, the NetherRealm prize pot? No, that's all people think about and talk about. And that's why we don't have a community. There's no community. It's just a bunch of fucking disparate individuals looking to see what they can get from it. I'm not looking to see what I can take from the Mortal Kombat community. I am looking at what I can give to the Mortal Kombat community. And what that is I experienced the Tekken community, and I'm trying to bring that to the Mortal Kombat community. I am giving it. I don't want anything in return. You can sub, you can pay me, you can donate, you can do all of that. And that's all good. And I appreciate it because I'm broke, but I'm not doing this to make money. I'm doing this because fuck, man. And I just see MF Slayer in my chat. MF Slayer, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. He was a part of that community in Super Arcade. He knows. I want to give what you guys have not gotten, because the MK community has been nothing but a bunch of tryhards looking to take from you as much as they can for their own success and monetary gain. You've never had this before, right? But you're getting it here. And I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to surround myself with people who share that ideal, like Saki, like Vendetta, right? There's a reason why I don't collaborate with other streamers. There's a reason why I picked the names that I picked, because you know what? We're going to bring it. We are going to make this happen.
Can I just say, Fujin's best boy. Yes. So, yeah. In any case, this was a pretty good podcast.
It was cathartic. It was cathartic.
The podcast will be live on YouTube tomorrow at 10. This time it won't be as late. I promise. I pinky promise. But yeah, so that was good. This was pretty good.
I feel good. I feel good about it. You know.
I know you feel good. I know you feel good.
I always feel good, man. And I'm feeling good.
Look, oh my god, Impulse, bro, patient, where are you? He's singing. He's singing.
Yeah, I know. Everybody loves that I sing on my channel. But yeah, so make sure if you're not already following us on our channels here, Saki is live right now as well. So go ahead and check out.
Another hour or so.
Yeah, go check her out on Twitch. Check us all out on YouTube. Saki's YouTube is where the podcast gets posted because, quite frankly, her YouTube's bigger than mine. Also follow us on Twitter, and I'm still gonna give a shout out to Vendetta and Creative, even though they couldn't make it. I'm gonna win Vendetta over with kindness. I'm gonna make him find time in his schedule to make it to these podcasts by just pimping him out as hard as I can, and then he's gonna eventually be like, shit, man, I've gained like 500 viewers because of Honey Badger pimping me out. I got to get on this podcast. And same thing for Creative, who is sick today. But follow us on the YouTube and the Twitter. Saki's is actually Saki Sakura on Twitch.
TV, yes, it's not the long one either.
Yeah.
So Twitter is Saki Sakura TV. Super sweet, super simple. I fixed it.
Yeah.
I actually did it after you were like after you had like said it. I'm like, after I was saying it, I'm like, you know what? That it's too much of a mouthful. I need to give it up. I need to give up 16 emo me.
Right. So follow everybody that you're not already following on the places you can follow them. And I believe that's going to kill it for the podcast today. Hopefully we see you guys back next Sunday. And hopefully we have other people with us next Sunday as well.
For sure.
All right.
Badger.
I'll catch you later. You too.
Bye.
Bye.